Welcome to TCM1. We're going to do a summary and overview. Yesterday we touched upon a lot of different concepts, and we're going to be jumping back and forth because our aim is to really get an understanding of what TCM is and how it works and how you can explain it to other people. So, acupuncture has been around for how long?
5,000.
Yeah, between 3,000. Some authorities will say 3,000, other people will say 5,000 years ago. It began during the Stone Age, when stone knives or sharp-edged tools were used. Okay. What did we have in the Shang and the Zhou periods? Okay, so China has a wealth of different periods, right? And we discussed yesterday about where did TCM begin from? Where are its origins, its roots? And we spoke about the Shang and early Zhou dynasty, okay? And they were working with shamanism, okay? They included ancestral therapy, shamanism, magic practices. They worked with ritual and divination. Do you recall we were speaking about this yesterday? Okay. Okay. So the late Zhou and Qin dynasties, the foundation of science and medicine were developed. It became more rational. It became more systematic. So the shift from pre-scientific medical practice to rational and scientific tradition began. So principles started to occur, and the foundation of TCM started to bloom. It was the birth of TCM because now it was being recorded. Okay. So during the 1st century of BC, we had Confucius, and the Confucian social and political theorists laid the social foundation for the unification of all of these scientific theories, leading to like structure, formalized medical inquiry. And again, we're repeating this because we're talking about 1st century BC. So it was already being scientifically noted and recorded. So it's not just hearsay or this point. You know, this is very systematically done. Okay, the Shang dynasty from 1766 to 1100 BC was considered to be the beginning of Chinese medicine. Okay, according to legend, there were 3 emperors. Who were the 3 emperors? And this you should know. They were called the Celestial Emperors. Okay, we had Shen Nong, or the Red Emperor, who invented herbal therapy, and Wang Di, the Yellow Emperor, who invented the art of medicine. Okay. I'm going to move on because there we are, summary and overview. Okay, so about 1500, the Shang dynasty, they started recording and treating disease. How do we know this?
It was recorded on tortoise shells.
Right, okay, they were found. And these were also used for divination because, you know, during the Shang and the Zhou periods, they were still working with nature, the elements, okay? And we're still working with that, but they were really relying heavily on nature, the elements, heaven, earth. The philosophical basis seems to be to seek harmony. And even today, in TCM, what you want to do, you want to harmonize. You want to remove obstruction. You want to balance. So not much has changed on that point. You know, the Chinese want to harmonize. Rarely have I gone in to see an MD and he'll say, we want to harmonize you with this Vicodin. You know, it's just it's just different. And we're going to try to get rid of these evil spirits or this evil qi. Okay, the Warring States is the period after Shang, Zhou, and the Warring States. Great influence on Chinese medicine because 2 philosophical ideologies came about from the Warring States: Confucianism and Taoism, the way. And again, Taoism is about the way, about balance. okay, about being in the moment, harmony. The Confucians believe that it's important to present oneself as a whole. So for that reason, they had quite a lot of fear of being executed or decapitated, because that would be dismembering them or cutting them off, and they really feared that because they believed everything was unity, was like a whole. So acupuncture and related methods were the practical answer for prevention or to cure internal disease with these external means. Okay, so in order to avoid decapitation or execution and to remain whole physically, right, but whole also spiritually, right, whole, holistic, they started using acupuncture and the herbs. Actually, that's quite interesting, isn't it? So next time anybody asks you where holistic comes from, you just take it back. Well, the Confucians believed they didn't want to be decapitated or executed. So as a result, right? Okay. Okay, so Tao again, harmony and balance. The religion of Taoism became formalized during the Warring States period. Okay. Going on, we were talking about Wang Di Neijing, which is still today considered to be the Bible of Chinese medicine, and we still refer to it. And in many ways, it is like Confucius. You know, it says, there's this question and answer. There are many noteworthy doctors, and I asked you to look up 3 out of the list I gave you. But just to tell you a little bit about a few of them, Zhang Zhongjing, if everybody repeat it.
Zhang Zhongjing.
Okay. Eastern Han Dynasty. 2 very famous books, Treatise on Cold Attack. This was the very first clinical medical treatise, and he had another book on miscellaneous disease. Now, we're talking 150 to 219 AD. Okay, so that's early to have clinical books and research already on disease that we're actually looking at today. Wang Shubi, he developed Pulse. He's got a wonderful book on the Pulse Classic and also the treatise on cold attack and miscellaneous diseases. As you can see, cold, a lot of symptoms, a lot of health challenges can come from cold. A lot of books, the Chinese wrote a lot on cold attacking the body, invading the body. Okay? If you have cold invading the abdomen, what would some of your symptoms be? I know we haven't done TCM diagnosis, but just you've done some acupuncture with the various signs and symptoms. So if you had some type of cold attacking, wind cold, or cold evil attacking the abdomen, what would some of your
Diarrhea.
sorry?
Diarrhea.
Diarrhea,
Yeah. Cramping.
cramping,
All over the body.
pain,
Bloating.
right?
Bulging.
Sorry?
Bulging.
Distension, distension, right? Okay, so those would be some. Now, this morning we went through. When I first came in, we went through these herbs because although we're going from here to there, you will get something out of this course. You will remember. You're not going to have to spend as much time on your own because we're working interactively and we're also jumping back and forth, because if we just read it once, it's going to be too much. It's going to be information overload. Okay? So, what herb warms the abdomen?
Jishi.
Huaishi.
Shenjiang. Ginger. Ginger
Ginger,
warms
right.
the abdomen.
Ginger, everything.
It's
Yes.
a wonderful herb that warms the abdomen, okay? So I'm just showing you the people were very worried and concerned about cold penetrating the body, okay? Because what does cold do? It also contracts, okay? Contracts the meridians. It can block, okay? So many, many, many books and theses on just what cold can do to the body, okay? And it already started in the development of early TCM. Another famous doctor is Huang Fumi in the Jin Dynasty, and he wrote a book called The A to B Classic of Acupuncture and Moxibustion. Okay, so they already started working with heat. Just a little story. When I first started, I was in England, and I was taking a course in acupuncture, and I hurt this joint really badly, and the Chinese master had said, well, get someone to put some moxibustion. And we couldn't find any moxibustion there. So this guy, he got a cigarette, and he just held it there. It worked. I didn't like the smell, but it's really amazing. So heat helps, right? And we know now that heat isn't strong enough. Infrared is better, but far infrared is the best, right? Okay. Okay, Qian Yi, the key to therapeutics of children's diseases. So this is another doctor who pioneered and compiled a book in the treatment of diseases of the Tsang Fu viscera. What's Tsang Fu?
It's the yin-yang organs.
Okay, so yin-yang organs. Okay, the Tsang Fu. Okay, the Tsang are the yin organs, and the Fu are the yang organs. And they were already based on symptom and syndrome differentiation. And this is very important. We do a lot of differentiation because there is overlapping, okay? If you have qi deficiency, one of the symptoms will be tiredness, okay? Fatigue, lassitude, tired. But you also have that with spleen qi deficiency or with lung qi deficiency, so they overlap. So we are very mindful when we work with our questions, when we work with getting a proper diagnosis to what exactly it is, to being very clear. So again, we are working with differentiation like Western medicine does. I mean, again, if you look at House, they're all about differentiation. That's all they do. You know, those guys, and this guy's an expert on this, they have their team, and they'll know it can't be that. And what they show with House, he goes into his right brain, plays with a ball or whatever, and the answer comes to him. So it's really about that. I haven't seen many other shows like that, that work that way. But Chinese medicine is based on differentiation. Again, when I was studying, I would say, well, he has this symptom, this is what I think. Well, why would you think that if they have palpitations? Wouldn't it have? So there are so many things, and the more you study, the more it becomes more complicated because things overlap, and it's not clear. So this is why you have to know your herbs. You have to know your points. You have to know all the signs, the symptoms, all of the pathologies, and how they can manifest in different people, in different ages, people coming from different countries. So it's very huge. But I just wanted to give you a couple of doctors. Yue Tianqi did a treatise on tropic febrile diseases. So this is also, what does febrile mean?
Fever.
Fever, right. Okay, so there's a lot done on fever, a lot done on cold. So this just gives you more of an idea, because you're going to choose 3 out of the list I gave you, and try to get into it, and it'll give you an idea of what you're working with, because it's not just acupuncture, a point. It's so much greater, and the more you know, the more you're going to, give to your patient, and the more you'll be able to embrace it. Information is knowledge. Okay. So, yin-yang theory, TCM concept. Okay? So what does it do? Okay, balance. You can say that about many things. You can say that about acupuncture. So it's a guide to Okay. Okay, that's good. But if I was a patient, I'd say, and if I was coming in, and someone told me that, I'd say,
Basically,
yeah. So probably think the Yin Yang theory is a guide to expound on the physiology, pathology, and diagnosis and treatment. Okay, okay. So have some words that people can understand, because if we start talking about heaven and earth, we know what it means. It means the environment. It means it can mean also being grounded. It can also mean fungus. There's so many things it can mean. It can also mean psycho-spiritual manifestations. Okay, it can also mean entities. It can also mean emotional life. We're talking from the heavens, right? Okay, so there's many things it can mean. So when you're speaking to a patient or someone that comes in that doesn't understand, you may want to combine it with, well, it works on the physiology, pathology, diagnosis in a treatment. They are opposites, and they help. They work together. Yeah, easier, because there are many relationships between yin and yang, which we learned yesterday. Okay. We also work with, what's another concept?
5 elements.
5 element. And how are you going to, again, you can say, again, it expounds on the physiology. Yeah, you have to know these words. For instance, someone says, what's TCM? In 3 seconds and less.
Traditional Chinese medicine.
Physiologic, cardiologic.
What did I say yesterday? No. Okay, I said TCM is, it's a combination of acupuncture, herbal medicine, Tuina massage, and Qigong. We also do moxibustion, cupping, and ear seed, and we have laser, and yeah, you can expound, but the 4 things, always have something ready, okay? And with these tools, we work with yin, yang, qi, and blood.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? Have something, otherwise you just go into, always have something that you can work with. Then you can expound on them. Otherwise it's, it's this holistic, you can add all that. In fact, this is what I want you to do for next time. I want you to write down for me what I just said, but make it your own. And, people are going to come to you, and you're going to say, we work here with TCM. That includes da-da-da-da-da-da-da, okay? And we bring into balance yin-yang. Our aim is to bring into balance and to harmonize yin-yang, qi, and blood, which works with physiology, pathology, diagnosis. So make it your own. You can start with traditional Chinese medicine is holistic in nature, works with acupuncture, herbal medicine. Okay, so you can expand on that, but have something ready to say. Otherwise, it's all over the place. Because people know what Western medicine is. They won't ask, but people don't really know what TCM is. They'll know acupuncture, but TCM is bigger, it's broader, We work with the 5 elements, okay? And then you can bring in these, which are in your notes. You can bring in yin-yang, 5 element, meridian. What are meridians? What are meridians?
They're the energy